You know, in the world of superbikes, there are bikes that are iconic, and then there are the true legends. The Aprilia RSV4? Oh, it is absolutely in that legend category. For years, this has been the bike for people who know a razor-sharp weapon for the track with this incredible, soulful V4 engine that's just as much about how it makes you feel as it is about pure speed. So for 2025, Aprilia didn't go back to the drawing board. Nope, they just took the blade and made it even sharper. Let's dig in and dissect what makes this new version tick. And here it is, the 2025 RSV Factory. Just look at it. This is a machine that absolutely wears its racing DNA on its sleeve. I mean, every single line, every piece of carbon fiber, it's all a direct result of lessons learned at the very highest level of motorcycle racing. And that's what this is all about. We're going to break down what makes this latest evolution so special. And you know, this quote from a First Ride review really hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures what Aprilia is all about. Their philosophy isn't about some huge revolution every single year. It's about this relentless, focused process of refinement, just perfecting a formula that, let's be honest, was already brilliant to begin with. And that formula? Well, it's a winning one. This isn't just some fast bike for the street. It's a dynasty. Seven World Superbike titles. That number right there, that tells you everything you need to know about this bike's pedigree. It's a champion, plain and simple. I mean, just look at this legacy. It's paved with victories. It all kicked off in 2009 with that game-changing 65-degree V4. And almost immediately, it started to dominate. Max Biaggi won championships in 2010 and 2012. The success just kept rolling, which led to a big engine upgrade in 2021. And that all brings us right here, to the 2025 model, the next logical step in this incredible evolution. All right, so let's start our dissection with the absolute heart of this machine, that incredible V4 engine. This is the thing that gives the RSV4 its soul, its unique character. The secret sauce here is the engine's 65-degree angle. See, unlike some of its rivals, this narrower V makes the engine unbelievably compact, and that lets Aprilia centralize all the bike's weight, which is the key to its famously stable and predictable handling. That design also gives you what reviewers call this velvety torque, just smooth, usable power anywhere you are in the rev range. And it does it all with what is, hands down, one of the best sounds in all of motorcycling. So for 2025, the official number is 217 horsepower. But honestly, the number itself isn't the whole story. The real story is how they did it. To maintain and in some ways even improve the power while also meeting the super strict Euro 5+ emissions rules, well, that's a massive engineering challenge. It just goes to show you that Aprilia is playing at the absolute highest level. So how did they pull it off? Well, it's all about sweating the details. They put in bigger 52mm throttle bodies to let the engine breathe better. The redesigned exhaust doesn't just improve flow, it cleverly moves the catalytic converter to cut down on heat for the rider. You combine that with new fuel mapping, and the result is power delivery that's even smoother than before, and yes, a sound that is even more sublime. Okay, so you've got all this power, but what good is a powerful engine if you don't have a chassis that can handle it? And that brings us to the RSV4's legendary frame and its new MotoGP-derived aerodynamics. Now in the past, some critics said the RSV4 needed a little muscle to get it to turn. So Aprilia listened, and they made 3 very subtle but really harmonious changes. They raised the engine and the swing arm's pivot point, which improves stability. Then they shortened the trail. You can basically think of that as the geometry that affects how fast the bike steers. This made the bike quicker to turn. The results? It's this masterful balancing act. You get more agility without losing any of that rock-solid stability the RSV4 is so famous for. And the new bodywork? It brings some huge gains. The new fairing design is just way more efficient, cutting aerodynamic drag by 6%. At the same time, those new integrated winglets generate 8% more downforce. So what does that mean for you? It means the front wheel stays planted at high speeds, and it reduces the bike's tendency to wheelie when you're hard on the gas. And yep, there they are, the new stacked, or as some people have started calling them, the Stegosaurus winglets. These are not just some bolts-on afterthought anymore. They are fully integrated into the fairing. This is a direct tech transfer from Aprilia's RSGP race bike. It's basically functional art. Okay, let's talk about the brains of the operation, the digital nervous system that has to tame all this mechanical fury. We're talking about the electronics, and they just got a major upgrade. So the APRC system has always been top of the line, but this new predictive control is a total game changer. Aprilia says it actually learns your riding style to give you more precise control. You still have a massive amount of adjustability, but now you manage it all through this crisp new TFT display with backlit controls, which is a nice touch. And in a very modern twist, Aprilia is introducing in-app purchases. This means owners can potentially unlock advanced settings or race features electronically right from their phone. No trip to the dealer needed. So it all sounds like a dream, doesn't it? A perfect race-bred machine you can ride on the street. But owning a thoroughbred isn't always simple. And that brings us to the reality of what it takes to own one.
To really understand this bike, we've got to look beyond the spec sheet. We need to talk about what it takes to keep a high-strung Italian superbike in perfect fighting shape.
And listen to this. This is a direct quote from a career Aprilia technician, and you can just feel the emphasis in the text. On these V4 engines, checking the valve clearances isn't just a suggestion. It is a critical, absolutely non-negotiable part of maintenance if you want to prevent serious engine damage.
And here it is, the tangible cost of all that performance. That one essential service can run you $1,200, maybe even more. It's a pretty significant expense that anyone thinking about buying one needs to know about. The dream has a price tag, and it's really important to be realistic.
So with all of that in mind, where does the 2025 RSV4 actually fit in the superbike pantheon today? Well, to figure that out, let's put it head-to-head with its fiercest rival from just down the road in Italy. This table really lays out the core differences. You can see the Ducati Panigale V4S is lighter, and it boasts a higher peak horsepower number, which reflects its super aggressive track-focused character. But look at the RSV4. It counters with its famously stable chassis and a more linear, user-friendly power delivery, and it does it all at a significantly lower price. This really highlights a fundamental difference in how these two companies think a superbike should be. And that's really the whole story, isn't it? The RSV4 isn't trying to be a Panigale. Its identity is built around being a more accessible superbike. It gives you 99% of the performance in a package that's widely considered more confidence-inspiring and stable, all while leaving a whole lot more money in your pocket. And that brings us right back to where we started. The 2025 Aprilia RSV4 is a masterpiece of evolution. It is sharper, it's smarter, and it's faster, but it still has that soulful character and that unflappable chassis that made it a legend in the first place. This is a bike for riders who value balance and feel just as much as they do raw on-paper numbers. Which really leaves us with one final thought. In a time where everyone is chasing bigger and bigger horsepower numbers, the RSV4 doubles down on its legendary chassis and handling. It really makes you ask the question, what's more important? Is it the absolute highest peak power figure, or is it the poise and the confidence to actually use the power you have? The answer, I think, is out there on the road.